welcome to Be Well Live. My name is Sousa and I'm the Senior Wellness Coordinator in the Athletics and Recreation Department at Seneca College. And today we're going to be doing some seated yoga. So if you'd like to grab yourself a mat and maybe some oils and a bottle of water, now would be a great time. I'm actually going to be using a second mat as well today, just to kind of lift up my hips in a few of the poses to show you a better way to get some more hip flexion into our poses. So if you want to, you can grab a second mat if you have one. If you don't, a pillow or a blanket folded up or rolled up would be great to grab right now as well. Please remember to go at your own pace. Take breaks as needed, and if you experience faintness, dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath, please stop. I'm going to be using my Unwind sage oils today. I'm just going to put some on my wrists and the back of my neck. I'm going to set an intention today. My intention is going to be to trust myself and my decisions throughout my practice, as well as throughout the rest of my day in all things that I'm working on. So that is my truth, my intention. An intention is a word, or it can be a mantra, whatever you choose today, that is your truth. So mine is trust. So I hope that you find one that works for you. We're going to start here today in easy pose, just as we are. So you could also be in half lotus if you'd like, which we've practiced once before, where we kind of lift one of our feet up. You can do both if you can get both up. But today I'm just going to sit nice cross-legged, easy pose. And we're going to take three to five nice deep breaths here to kind of get ourselves started. So big breath in. Drop those shoulders, sitting up nice and tall. Big breath in, shoulders down and back. Another deep breath in. If you have some oils on you, you can always lift your hands up in namaste to your third eye. Take a deep breath in, let it all go. Big breath. Really start to bring awareness to your breath, to our practice today. One more big deep breath in. And exhale it out. We're going to move right into an easy pose side bend. So if you're in half lotus, please bring your feet back into easy pose here. So cross-legged, it's easier to get into our next pose. So on an inhale, we're going to support ourselves with our left hand. That can be where you're down on your forearm. You could be down here with a straight arm, depending on how much of a stretch and how deep you can get in. But on an inhale, let's bring up our right hand here and support it on our left. Let's start to bend on an exhale towards our left side. So again, you can be here, you could be bending in on each breath and getting a little deeper into the forearm stretch here, or onto your forearm side. Really trying to root down on your right side, trying not to be bringing up on the hip here. Try to be seated, but wherever you feel that nice stretch and where you can still have your chest lifted. Breathing deep here. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. Big breath in. And on an exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper. On an inhale, we straighten, kind of open up our chest. And on an exhale, deepen that stretch. One more inhale here. And on your next exhale, let's straighten back up, sitting up nice and tall. So let's do the same on our right side. So we're going to be supported on our right hand. On an inhale, left arm will come up. And exhale, we start to bend over. Again, you can come over onto your forearm. You can still be here. What we're looking for is a nice stretch on our left side body this time, with our chest forward and up. Lots of integrity in our neck. We don't want to be dumping here or dumping to this side. So try to hold down on our left side, feeling a nice stretch on our left side body. 2 more breaths here. And as we exhale, see if we can deepen. You can probably really feel, especially in this pose for me, I can really feel the difference in both sides. So can't get as deep on this side. Exhale it out. deepen that stretch if you can. Stay here for your inhale. And on your exhale, cartwheel that arm back down. Good job. So here we're gonna move into half Lord of the Fishes. So with legs straight out in front of us, get comfy and cozy on our mat. Sometimes it helps to pull away the fleshy parts of our buttocks to be seated in this staff pose, and just even to start in Lord of the Fishes. It does help to kind of ground us and get us closer to our mat, and better with hip flexion as well. So we're gonna start by raising our right leg up so that our right foot is flat to the mat. We're gonna take our left foot and we're gonna kind of tuck it underneath here, and we're going to make sure that our right foot is just over our knee. We're gonna twist here. So we're gonna be seated as such. We're gonna take a nice inhale in, arm will come up, high to the sky. And on an exhale, we're gonna start our twist, and we're gonna be bringing our elbow here, and we can be supported by our right arm here. So let's sit up nice and tall, half Lord of the Fishes. Exhale it out. Our twists are so good for detoxifying our organs. Sitting up nice and tall on an inhale. Seeing if you can twist even a little bit more. You can start to look over that right shoulder if you feel comfortable. One more big inhale in. Exhale. Stay for your inhale. And on your next exhale, let's come out of our pose. So we're gonna be back into our staff pose, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side here. So this time our left leg will come up. We're going to take our right foot, drop down to our knee, and we're gonna tuck it in and around, sitting up nice and tall. And our left foot will then come around our right knee. And on an inhale, we're gonna sit up nice and tall, hand to the sky. And on an exhale, we're gonna twist. And using our left arm, we're gonna support and hold here. Big inhale in, and exhale. Inhale here, and exhale. If you can, twist a little deeper. See if you can look over your left shoulder. Big inhale in, sitting up nice and tall. And exhale. Stay for your inhale here. And exhale, release. So now I'm going to be using my seat or my second mat here, and I'm going to just raise my hips up just a touch, and we're going to move into staff pose. And staff pose is a nice straight pose, but if you have any sort of rounding in the back and or you get tired quite quickly sitting up, this always helps to raise and elevate our hips. We're going to have our feet flat to the ground here, our heels, excuse me, and our toes pointing up to the ceiling. And from here, our arms are going to come to our side, and we're just going to sit up nice and tall, shoulders loop, down and back. Imagine that if you were sitting up against the wall, that your shoulders would be touching and not your lower back. So we're not here, super nice and tall. Lots of integrity in the spine. Hold it here for 2 big breaths. One more big breath in. And exhale out. Stay for your inhale. And on the next exhale, we can release. We're going to be moving into a seated forward bend. So I kind of wanted to do this facing this way, but you can stay on your mat where you're lengthways so that you can see. But again, I'm going to be propped up on my mat, and again, removing the fleshy parts of the buttocks on the sides. For me, this helps with a lot of forward flexion. So here, where we're doing a seated forward bend, we really want to make sure that we're bending from our hips and we're not rounding around in our back. So sometimes that means that we can't even touch our toes, and that's okay. This will help practice it'll move our hips. It'll help again with hip flexion. So let's all inhale. Both hands come up high to the sky, shoulders down and back. And on an exhale, let's start to hinge at the hips. So if this is where you are, this is where I am. and that's okay. Grabbing our toes. Some of you may be here. Some of you may be just holding on to your, the tops of your legs here, or your shin bones, even your ankles, wherever you are. Let's take 2 deep breaths. Exhale it out. See if you can sink a little deeper. Again, with each exhale. Sitting up, chest forward. We're thinking chest to toe here. Exhale it out. Another big breath in. And on this exhale, let it all go, release. So we're going to try this in a wide angle. So we're going to do what we call a wide angle seated forward fold. So again, I'm going to stay on my mat. You don't have to be here, but really what we want to be thinking about is not necessarily having our legs as wide as we can get them and getting into the splits here, but we want to make sure that we're grounded down by our thighs here and that our toes are pointing up to the sky. So sitting up nice and tall, again, spiraling out and back our thighs, pressing down, lots of integrity in the legs here. So holding our toes up, high to the sky, take a big breath in, hands will come up, shoulders down and back. And again, we're gonna start to hinge at the hips and move forward. Try really hard not to round here. Start to come forward at the hip. So wherever those hands are, you might be able to claw a little bit to help you get into a bit of a deeper stretch, but we're gonna hold it here for 3 breaths. So inhale in, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down and back. Exhale it out. Some of you may be down on your forearms, and that's great. Lots of deep stretch here. Big breath in again. And exhale it out. Big breath in. Exhale, deepen that stretch. And stay for your inhale. And on an exhale, release. You can bring your legs back in and around if you like. So I'm going to move this now, my mat from underneath, because we're going to move into boat pose. So if you want to swing your legs around here and have your legs flat on the mat to start. Boat pose is a lot of core, so you really want to be thinking about drawing navel to spine to keep that integrity in the spine and to make sure that we're not rounding again. So we want to be chest up. We're going to be here on an inhale. Let's bring our arms out. So we're going to be here, and on an exhale, let's slowly start to bring up our legs. So we want to have our feet, our toes facing up to the sky. We really want to have our chest as much as we can up and back. So let's try not to round and hold it here for 3 breaths, boat pose. If you need some support, you can always grab behind your knees here. Otherwise, we're here for 3 breaths. You got this. Lots of shake in here. Inhale in and exhale. One more big breath in and exhale. Stay for your inhale. And on an exhale, drop the feet back down to the ground. So we're going to find our way here onto our hands and knees into a slight variation of a tabletop position. So from here, with your feet nice and flat on the ground, we're going to drop down to our bellies. So bringing our elbows back. We're going to work into locust pose today. So locust, a lot of people think like grasshopper. So think about your elbows here as like kind of grasshopper elbows. And we want to have our feet flat to the ground, and they're going to be hip width apart. And we're going to like lift up here, pressing into our legs and into our pelvic bones. So really, if you lift your hands off here, you really shouldn't be dropping down. We're not pulling up. It's not a push-up. You just want to be holding here, lots of integrity, again, pressing down into that pelvic bone and into our legs. And from here, we're going to drop our arms, palms are going to be down on the ground, and we're going to lift off the ground into locust. So let's hold this here for 3 breaths. If you want to catch a wave, on an inhale, you can stay up, and on an exhale, you can drop back down. Inhale, chest comes up and feet come up off the ground. Hold here in locust. Exhale, drop it back down. Or you can be holding static. Let's hold this one more time, one big breath. And exhale. Lowering all the way down to the ground. Let's roll over onto our backs and move into Shavasana today. We're gonna be here for 5 breaths today. So we're gonna have our legs splayed out to the side and our arms. We're going to take a big breath in and we're gonna release anything that we need to release, anything that we need letting go of. Closing our eyes, being grateful for this time. Thank you for joining me on your mat today. Exhale. I hope you're feeling a little more relaxed. You can move into the rest of your day with maybe a little bit more focus. Exhale. One more big breath here. And let it all go. You can stay here in Shavasana if you'd like for a few more breaths, or you can make your way to an easy pose here. You can also stay tuned for some more Be Well Live. We've got hiking essentials with Mike at 2 o'clock today. And on the fitness and wellness classes end of things, today at 1 o'clock we've got a dance hall soca class. And at 3 o'clock we've got Sousa. So if you head on over to our website, senecasting.ca, you can find all of the links to join our classes today. Thank you again for joining. Be safe, be well. Namaste.